Hi, can you hear me okay? Can I get thumbs up or chat or something letting me know if you can hear me? Great, thank you. Hi, can you hear me okay? No, I best turn off the YouTube stream. Okay. It's going to get terrible echo. If you've got questions and stuff you want me to answer before we kind of officially start, I'm happy to do that. I can see this question is going to the retro board already. No, nothing you need to watch and read before today's Q&A session. We're just going to talk you through some of assignment 1 and then respond to any queries or questions or things you would like us to waffle on about. I'm intrigued to see if we get more people this week or less people this week than we did last week. Oh, hang on, I need to be sending this to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's answering the questions on our behalf. Makes our life much easier. Can I remind you that if you want to speak, you need to put your hand up and you need to have the latest version of the Zoom app downloaded. The talking in webinars only works if you've got the latest version of the Zoom app. Someone with their hand up, I know to talk. You got the mic, Jordan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. That's right. I just want to make sure you can hear me if I had any questions when we start.
Okay, good plan. Sensible idea. You again, bye. Monique, you have the mic. You don't have the mic. You need to unmute yourself. Oh no, Jordan's still got the mic. I've got to kill Jordan. Hang on. Kill Jordan. Disable talking. Okay. Zoe, you got the mic, Zoe. You need to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Only just, but yes.
Okay, sorry, is that better?
Yeah, that's a bit better, yeah.
All right, good morning, Peter. I was just wondering, for those of us who can't get their textbook yet, is that going to be a problem if it's not within maybe the next 1 or 2 weeks?
Certainly not a problem this week.
Okay.
We've included a PDF of chapter 1 in the course readings, and we put PDFs of all the kind of ebook activities, either in the activities themselves or we've put links out to them. So you should be able to do all of this week's activities without any problem.
Awesome. Yeah, I've put like I've not printed out, but like put the PDFs onto my computer. computer in a
Okay.
little space, so I've got it there if I need it. But I was just wondering, yeah, if it's going to cause a bit of an issue, or maybe I could. We have like some table buddies, so maybe they'll let me read over their shoulder.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're still having problems getting the textbook, just let us know, because we will carry on breaking the law and putting up illegal copies until most people have got the textbook.
For legal reasons, for anyone listening, this is a joke.
Yes, absolutely. I was absolutely jesting. Thank you for pointing that out, Zoe.
No, I got your back, Peter. Don't worry. All right, thank you. That was all.
All right. Monique, you have the mic. You need to unmute. Monique, you've disappeared off the face of the earth. Maybe you haven't got the mic. Jordan's got his hand up again. Jordan, did you still want to talk, or had you just forgotten to put your hand down?
No, I've got a personal question, but not overly personal, but a different one, not necessarily related to education. Have you ever read any of Jordan Peterson's books?
I'm terrible with names, Jordan. I might have done and probably forgotten all about it. What are they about?
His main one that he's recognised for is called 12 Rules for Life. He's a psychologist. Have you heard of that?
No.
Right. Well, if you should definitely read it, 100%.
Why? What's the key message? What are your takeaways from it?
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like I cannot rate it highly enough. I nearly every person I talk to, I say, "Have you read this book? Have you read this book? Have you read this book? Have you read this book?" There's 12 key rules. There's not necessarily one message, but it's just about, it's just amazing. So if you ever get spare time,
I reckon spare time, if only. This week has been manic. My brain's can you post the name of the author and the name of the book in the chat?
Yeah, for sure. I've got 2 copies of it, actually, if you want to borrow one.
Hey, that would be cool. Though maybe wait a few weeks until things have calmed down. I've been doing 12-hour days minimum at the moment and just answering questions. Very often the same question over and over again, which is a bit depressing.
I'll see if I can ask a few more today then.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's good to get them out of the way during this session. I'm gonna turn you off and let Riley have a go. Hang on.
Right,
bye.
No worries.
Whoops. Riley, you've got the mic. You need to unmute. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay. My question is related to the Consent Matters module. I've tried every possible way to get into that thing and it just doesn't like me. It won't let me open it. It won't let me do the module. It won't let me read anything. And I was just wondering, is there a way of getting into it that I don't know about? Or
I'm going to ask everybody else. Has anyone succeeded in doing it? If you've succeeded in doing it, can you respond in the chat? Okay, Corey's managed. Yeah, so some people have. Okay, what I suggest, Riley, is you get onto IT, onto the IT helpline.
Okay. No worries.
Sorry.
That's okay.
If lots of people were having the same problem, I'd be saying, oh, okay, I'm going to chase this up. But
yeah, I thought it might just be me because it didn't work on the original link that you put in the weekly activities. And then I thought, oh, I'll just go through Blackboard. And then that didn't work either. So probably just me.
Well, or if someone who's done it, if you have a look through the list of all the people who've done it, maybe see what link they used.
Okay.
So see if you get someone to give you some advice. All right. That was very unhelpful. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
Cutting you off. Bye. Zoe, you've got the mic.
Sorry, I totally forgot to mention that I've made a study group for EDUC 1038 and 1048 on Facebook, and it's just that it's EDUC in capitals 1038, no spaces between that, and then an end symbol, and then space 1048. If anybody would like to join.
What's the end symbol?
and like A-N-D, but I probably just sound like I'm saying end. But I'll post the name of it into the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I was trying to
And
put it in the
we've
chat.
got 20 members, but it's basically just so that we can lean on each other, help each other with drafts. And I've also got like a helper that's like an essay whiz, the head of English for St. Edward's College, coming in near our essay time, helping us with that because we can't get a lot of too much hand-holding from you guys.
What you have to be careful of with English teachers is they like flowery language, and we don't. We like really clear communication. They'll be used to teaching,
especially with essays.
Yeah. We don't want all, put your thesaurus away.
Yes.
We don't want any sub-clauses or chunge-up type, all sorts of clever garbage that they like in English exams. That's an ampersand sign, by the way. So yeah, signs called an ampersand.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll post the name of it into there, and you just need to request to join, and then there's about 20 of us there at the moment, but I'm sure we'll be using it more and more as the course goes along.
Thank you for doing that, Zoe.
That's
Appreciate it. Kyla, you got the mic? Maybe you haven't got the mic. Allowed to talk. Let's try again. You've got the mic now.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, on Blackboard it said we had like pass for this, but now it's gone. Do we still have pass for this?
At the moment, we don't have pass for this. We are in negotiations.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
And sorry, I just have one more question. For the assessment, do we like create an issue, or is it like we find two readings focusing on similar issues?
Yes, I was here because I had to get the live stream going. Sorry, Heather's just come in and she said, "Have you started, Peter?" And I was just explaining that because I was here and I had to turn it on to get the live stream going, and there were loads of people in there, I thought I would just ask, start dealing with questions. We're probably going to be answering that during the session. I think the answer is you definitely want to get 2 articles that relate to the same sort of issue. And yeah, you just choose something that was of interest to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm cutting you off. Have I cut you off? Yes. I'm going to stop taking questions for a minute because I want to have just a quick chat with Heather before we get going. So I'm going to mute myself first.
Do you have a USB?
Do I have any?
USB stick? My internet's broken again on my computer.
Oh no.
For not the first time. This is what happened last Monday. Last
Okay. Sorry, Heather.
Crazy.
Sorry, Heather's having technical problems. She can't get onto the internet, but she's going to join us from another machine in a minute. Where are we up to? Heather is going to be running the session today. I'm going to be dealing with the questions on the Easy Retro board, and I can see you're happily adding them to the pile as we go. Do remember when you're asking questions to check that they haven't already been answered either in the help wiki, which you can get to from the help menu in the main menu on the Blackboard site, or in the help discussion forum, because it will save you a lot of time if they've already been answered, because you won't have to wait for an answer, and it'll save us a lot of time because we are spending a lot of time answering the same questions multiple times. You shouldn't need a meeting ID number. I will see if I can find out what it is though. Hang on. This is,
Deborah, I'm just going to have to stay here and do it. I'm sorry. I'll stay at home in future.
where is it?
Peter, can you hear me?
Can.
Okay, can you see the slide show up?
I can.
Okay. I'll start in 2 minutes. Are there students still there? Because I can't see anything.
Yes. We've got 297 so far, but lots of people saying they
Awesome.
can't get in.
Okay.
We're not using the Q&A today. Please use the Easy Retro board. So we will not be answering questions in the Q&A. Use the Easy Retro board, please. Because it was just too hard for us to manage both things. We need one place where we're looking. I'm going to stop talking and start answering questions in the Easy Retro board. Heather, we're getting lots of questions about the assignment. I'm going to tell people we're going to talk them through it today rather than answering them all in the Easy Retro board, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everybody knows, the focus of today's session is very much looking at assignment 1. So if you've got questions about assignment 1, I should wait until you we got into the session, because we may have answered a lot of them by the time we've got into the session. So rather than posting them now on the Easy Retro board, save them until you see whether we've already answered them. Panic not if you don't understand the assignment. Oh, Heather's answering questions before me. So fast, Heather.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. My name's Heather, and I'm here to step you through some Q&A today. So we're going to have a little look at what support we're offering for you guys in this course, and also information about content for this week and information about the assignment. So it's really an opportunity for you to also ask questions and so forth. I can see some people are raising their hands. Peter, I don't have any host rights with this Zoom, so could you?
I'll give you host rights.
Thanks.
Hang on.
Okay. I'll answer those questions in a minute. If you have a question about assessment, just wait until we get to the assessment slide and I'll go through it then with you. Thanks, everybody. But if you have a question about what I'm talking about, I'm more than happy to answer straight away. So let's have a look.
You've now got host rights, Heather, and I haven't.
Oh, okay. So how do I select their hand raise? Because it's not letting me.
If they've got their hand up, if you put your pointer over where their hand is up, it will give you a button that comes up that says unmute or give them the mic or allow to talk or something. You click on that and they can then talk.
Okay, that's not working for
when
me.
When they finish talking, or shall I take it back and I'll just...
Oh no, here it is. Okay, Jessica, yes, can I help you? Unmute yourself, please.
Hi, I have been unable to do the mandatory checks from last week's activity.
Yep. So Jessica, did you get my email that I sent out about that last night?
No, sorry.
Okay, you should have got an email from me because I sent it to all students and it's also in the student email section on Blackboard. And basically what it says, this is for everyone's benefit, but please make sure you're checking the student emails folder regularly if you're not getting my emails. You have now until the end of semester to do those checks because the state government's website broke down and the professional experience unit's software system wasn't working properly. So you now have until the end of the semester to do that, okay? So don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. And for more information, just check that email that I've written last night.
Oh, also, where can we get textbooks? I know you said it last week, but I forgot.
Yeah, so all the information about where you can get textbooks is in those emails that I've sent out with links. So you can get them from the on-campus bookshop. You can also buy them online. You can buy them direct from the publisher. You can buy them from Booktopia. That's a good option. You can buy them from the school locker, which is the textbook shop here, but online. So there's different options, but it's all written with links to where you can go on those series of emails that I've sent. So it might be worth it just to read. I've put them in order on Blackboard. I've numbered them. So go back and read those and click on the links to go and order the textbook.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Put your hand down, please, Jessica, when you're ready. And yes, Alexandra, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hi.
Hi.
I completed the induction training and it's come up with a slide saying, thank you, please close this tab and return to my PL.
Yep.
Then when I go back onto my learning, onto my PL, it says it's incomplete.
Yeah, so Jessica, Alexandra, sorry, did you get my email about this last night?
Yeah, and
yeah, so
I read it. And
so there's all sorts of problems at the moment. I can't help you with it.
Oh, okay.
And no one can help you. So my suggestion is wait a couple of weeks and try again.
Okay.
And I know that's stressful and I know that's annoying, but literally we cannot control anything in the Department of Education, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'd make
so
a
it's
few
like
changes.
not a personal issue. It's like
no, it's not a personal issue.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Not a personal issue. If you try again in a few weeks and it still happens, maybe it's a personal issue. But right now, I would say it's a Department of Education issue. Thanks, Alexandra. And just put your hand down when you're ready. Yep, good.
Okay, so you need to disable their ability to talk. So if you go over where their mic is, you'll get a more option and click on that. It gives you a little list and then you disable their talking.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. If you have questions for those people who have come in, because we've got now 439 students, that's fabulous. Welcome everybody. Hope week 2 goes smoothly for you. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go through some things, and then if you have a question about what's on my screen, ask. If you've got a question about the assessment, please hold off. If you have a question about the working with children check, please check your email that I sent last night because it's all filled in there. So let's have a look. So you should have got an email from me or from Melanie, sorry, on the weekend saying that we've got this fabulous first year experiences program starting. So I'd really encourage you guys to come to this. At the moment, we don't have PASS, and in place of PASS, we've got this fabulous first year sessions, which we've been running for about 6 or 7 years, and it's really, really great. You can join on the Facebook page. It's FYEUON. Click, I want to join, and you can join. And at the moment, we've got 5 sessions. We've got 1 at Arimba and 4 at Callaghan. And they're designed to help you not just with study, but actually what is it to be a university student, and how can I get used to university life? How can I meet people? How can I form a study group? How can I get support? So that's all. I'm running a session on Tuesday evening, 7 till 8, for that particularly focus on what is it like to study while having little children or big children or whoever. And so it's designed for parents, but anybody's welcome to come. So today we've got a session held via Zoom, straight after this session. So between 10 and 11, Tuesday 7, 8 at 9 o'clock, we've got me doing Bring the Kids session, or if you don't have kids, just bring yourself or bring your dog or bring a stuffed bear, it doesn't matter, come along anyway. On Wednesday, we're having a coffee club from 11 to 12 on the Callaghan campus in W building. On Wednesday, we're doing Get Active, Stay Active. Don't stress out if you're not an elite athlete. If you could see me, I'm not either. It's like mindfulness walking, or you might play badminton, or whatever happens, people who come along decide. That's Wednesday 1 till 2. Then on Thursdays, it's 4 till 5 at Rimba. So that's the sessions we've got running for you in place of past at this point in time. So this week, you should either have already or started to think about doing the week 2 activities. And what week 2 focuses on is jobs and careers, including portfolio careers, education as a profession and as a career, Patton and McMahon system series framework, beginning to look at professional networks, and what it is to have a career in the 21st century. And so this little module of education as a career is something that we're continuing on for the next 3 weeks, so weeks 2, 3 and 4. Before we get on to the assessment, which is I know probably what you're all here for, does anybody have any questions about this week's content that they want to just clarify? Okay, Amy, let me allow you to talk. Yes, Amy. Amy, sorry, I can't hear you. Amy? Okay, I can't hear you, Amy. I'm not sure what's going on. Do you want to try again? Do you want to put your hand back up again? We'll try again. No? Okay. If you want to, Amy, I'll take your question. Does anybody else have questions about the content from this week? Kayla does. Yes, Kayla?
Hey, I was just wondering, with that Zoom thing that you're talking about, how do we go on to it? For the
first year experiences?
Yeah.
So up on that screen, and Melanie sent an email on the weekend, and it has the link to it. So just click on the link.
Oh, from the email you sent? It's on there.
Is it on the email that I sent or the email that Melanie sent?
I'm not sure.
It's also in an announcement that Melanie sent.
So it's on the announcements on Blackboard as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Kayla, if you want to send me a quick email, heather.sharp@newcastle.edu.au, I'll quickly reply to you and give you the link after I finish here, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Because it's a really great session and Melanie's looking forward to people coming. So thanks, Kayla. Are there any other, Kayla, do you have any other questions from anybody about first year experiences or about the content from this week before I move on to the assignment? Okay, Caitlin, let me allow you to talk. Yes, Caitlin?
I was wondering how we submit the weekly activities. I kind of joined a bit late, so I'm not really sure what.
Yep. So Caitlin, just go along with those weekly activities and the tutorial preparation activities to your tutorial.
Okay, so we don't actually submit it anywhere. Okay.
No, you submit it in your tutorial to your teacher when your tutor asks to check it or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank
and
you.
the actual activities within the weekly activities are designed to actually help you learn. So you don't submit the activities in the weekly activities, you submit the activities in the tutorial preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be as much as your tutor checking that you've done them, asking you to speak about it. It'll vary, but there's no formal requirement to submit. That's a good question, Caitlin. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm going to get to, wait a second, just give me a second. Jessica, I'm going to allow you to talk. Oh, Jessica, yep, wait a second. Hi, Jessica, can you unmute yourself and ask the question, please?
Hi, I just had a question about the weekly activities, basic ones from last week about the mandatory ones.
Yes.
So I've already got a working with children's check before I started this course. Whereabouts do I submitted it?
So if you follow the instructions on the PEU stuff, it'll tell you how to do that. But if I were you, I would just wait a little while because we're having problems with the software system. Did you get the email that I sent out last night about it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. Then just wait a couple of weeks. But you submit it through the professional experience unit, the Sonia software stuff that's in the week 1 activities.
Yeah, and also how do I access that? Because I couldn't find it on like Blackboard.
Can't you? Okay, I tell you what, Jessica, in a couple of weeks, when it's all sorted out, when the Department of Education's website's up and running, when the professional experience unit Sonia's up and running, what I'll do, probably around about mid-semester break, I'll resend everything out because I think it's just too much at the moment to think about because we've got enough to do. The website isn't working anyway. Sonia isn't working. So we'll just cool it down and not worry about it for a few weeks, okay? But the fact that you've already got your Working with Children's check is fabulous.
Yeah, and it's also a paid one if that's okay.
Fabulous. That's fine. Yep. And for anyone else listening, you only need a volunteer one, but if you already have a paid one, that's really good. Just submit that. That's fine. That's good. Thanks, Jessica. Any other questions? No. Okay. Okay.
Hillary and also Hillary.
Jessica, did you have another question or have you just not put your hand down yet? Okay, thanks. Are there any other questions about the content from this week or about first year experiences? And as Melanie just reminded me, all the information is on Blackboard, but if you grab me that email from the student who asked, I'll reply to it. Okay, let's keep going then. So I'm guessing a lot of you have come on today because you want to hear about the assignment. Fabulous, let's go. So the assignment is due at the end of week 4. That's the 19th of March. Today's the beginning of week 2. So you've got about 15 working days left to do the assignment, which is plenty of time, so don't stress out. We're going to do a little activity this week in the week's tutorial to build up to it. And then next week we'll do a bigger activity that directly relates to Cornell note-taking. You've also got an APA referencing activity to do. If you're freaking out about referencing, don't. Your tutor can talk you through it today, okay? And you've also got the learning support sessions that you can attend to find out more information. So let's have a look at what the assignment actually says. Essentially what the assignment is you select 2 readings from the course. You can find the readings from the course reading section on Blackboard, and any of those course readings you can use those. If you have another reading that's on the course list that you might want to use, you can ask your tutor, and if it's appropriate, you can read it. So what it is, it's just 2 readings from the course, any 2. You're then going to do a note taking on both of them. So 1 Cornell method for Article A, 1 Cornell method for Article B, okay? And that's in that part 1. So select 2 readings, but you're not to use a chapter from the textbook and not to use a Brad Bear et al. And so forth, everyone else reading, okay? So you summarise them using the Cornell method of note taking. So that means 2 templates, 1 template per reading, 2 readings, 1 template, 1 template. Then you're to summarise them using that template, which we'll get to in a second. And each summary is to be 250 words. I really want to emphasise this is a 20% assignment. It's not supposed to be onerous. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's supposed to be a check about, okay, where are you with your academic literacy? Where are you with your skills? Where do we need to work on? So don't overcomplicate it. And I think that's what happens sometimes with students, and understandably so, because it's your first year, it's your first assignment. But just think about it carefully. Follow the template, 250 words maximum for each of those. So you've done those. You've got 1 template, 2 templates, finished. Then you go to the part 2, the explanation. So then you write an explanation of the significance. That means what's important about the readings as they relate to education. We've put in contemporary education. That means education now. Why are these 2 articles relevant? You might have chosen one about Aboriginal education and you might have chosen one about assessment. Why are they both relevant to contemporary education? And then you use part 2 of the template provided in the assignment, 1 templates document, okay? then your explanation, it needs to be 300 words. So that's not a lot, okay? 300 words is an A4 page, and you should use an academic paragraph structure. So we're not asking for an essay. It's probably like 2 paragraphs, okay? 150 words each, probably. If you have 3, that's okay as well, okay? But we're just writing an academic paragraph structure. What that means is we start with a capital letter. We end with a full stop. We use concise and clear language. If you're unsure about what is concise and clear language, think about the way that, I'll get you in a second, Tori, think about the way that you're reading articles or the textbook. The textbook uses clear and concise language. So that's an example of what an academic language is for this assignment. Then in part 3, and then I'll get to you, Tori, part 3 is using the criteria sheet that we've got there, mark what you think your assignment is worth. And what that provides you is a good check. You can mark it off and you can say, oh, well, actually, I didn't do this, so I'll go back and do that quickly now before I submit the assignment. You're not marked on how well you mark the assignment. You just you get marks for actually just highlighting the criteria statements that you do. But we're not, if it doesn't matter if you're close or far away, you just get marks for doing that. So Tori, I'll take yours and then I'll take you, Thomas. Yes, Tori.
With the explanation section, it says it should be 300 words. Is that total of the 2 readings, or is it 300 words of each?
Nope, 300 words in total. So we've got total, one, in part 1, just to reiterate, part 1, we've got 2 templates. They're 250 words each, so that's 500 words, okay?
Yeah.
Part 2 is 300 words in total because you're bringing the 2 articles together to discuss how they relate to education.
Yeah.
Okay. What we want to know there is that you understood the readings and that you can relate them to school or education or something that's happening in the world with education right now. Does that answer your question, Tori?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Does anyone else have a question about the brief? So that's part 1, part 2, part 3. Anyone else? Anyone have any questions about that before I move on? So you can select, oh yes, Jessica, sorry. I'm a little bit, let me just sort out Tori and Jessica. Yes, unmute yourself, please. Yes, Jessica, go.
Hi, so with the explanation part, it's just like you do 1 paragraph when you're related to the first one and the other paragraph related to the second one, not combining them together?
I think you should combine them together.
Okay.
I think that wouldn't hurt. Okay, but what we're looking for is, have you clearly explained it? That's more what we're looking for, but I think combining them together is good. And it's 300 words, so however you do that 300 words is fine. It might be 2 paragraphs, might be 3, but it's just 300 words, plus or minus. Does that answer your question, Jessica?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any others?
No.
Okay, I'll see you later when you do. Thank you. Are there any other, okay, Darcy, and then Indiana. Yes, Darcy, can you unmute yourself, please? Hi, Darcy.
Yeah. When selecting the readings, should they be both in relation to the same contemporary issue, or?
No, I don't think so. They don't need to be. It needs to be 2 readings from the course, and then you relate those 2 readings to education now. They don't have to be on the same topic. Does that answer your question, Darcy?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thanks, Darcy. I'll get to Indiana next, and then I'll get to Riley. So, Indiana, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, I was just wondering, do we need to do like in-text citations and a bibliography for this?
So you don't need to do bibliography because we don't do bibliographies in APA referencing. We normally do reference lists. But for this assignment, you need to do the APA referencing in the Cornell Methods template. Okay? And that's the only sources you need to use. You only need to use those 2 readings as sources. There's nothing else required.
Okay, and you said that we're going to do a little brief session on that in the tutorial?
Yep, so this week we're looking at mind mapping, and your pre-tutorial activity should have been doing the quiz, the APA referencing quiz. Then next week we'll do a Cornell method in the actual tutorial.
Okay, thank you, Heather.
That's okay, you're welcome. So for everybody listening in at home, what that means is by this week, select your readings. By this week, start reading them. But if you're getting a little bit concerned about Cornell, just wait, just hold off. It'll be okay. We'll sort through that in week 3. Then you've still got another week to finalise it and refine it and write those 300 words. I'll allow Riley next, and I'll get to Kayla. Yes, Riley, and unmute yourself, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so this is probably a little bit of a dumb question, but do we just go through the Blackboard course readings and pick 2, or are we finding them ourselves?
Nope, you go through the Blackboard course readings and select 2, Riley. This is simple.
Right.
And Riley, can I just say that was not a dumb question.
Okay, I just felt like you might have already said it and I just wasn't listening. But
No, that's okay. I ask those kinds of questions all the time, so don't worry about it. And if you
Can I just chip in? We haven't yet put up a full list of all the readings for the whole course. So there aren't actually that many readings at the moment in the course readings thing, but that's something we will sort out this week.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Yep, are you finished, Riley? Good.
Oh, yes, I'm done.
Thanks. Darcy, did you have another question? Because your hand is still up, or did I just forget to put it down for you? Okay, we're going to go to Kayla Holmes now. Just give me a second, Kayla, because my mouse is playing up. There we go. Kayla, can you unmute yourself, please, and ask your question?
Hi, I'm just looking at the readings list now, and I'm just wondering, some of them say required and some of them say recommended.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if that matters.
No, it doesn't, because that's a really good question, Kayla. Thank you very much. In part 1, Cornell, it says in the brief, it says select 2 readings from the course. You may select required or optional readings.
Okay.
So you can choose any reading that's on that reading list.
Yeah, and you just said before, obviously not the textbook and not the fried beer.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. That was a good question. In fact, I haven't had any not good questions from this course in the whole time I've been doing it for the past few weeks, so that's great. Okay, Kayla, I'm going to allow you to talk.
Hey, I was wondering, in part 3, do we directly quote in those paragraphs?
In part 2, do you mean?
Yeah, sorry, part 2.
Yeah. You could directly quote, but we're looking more at your understanding of it. So if you do directly quote, make sure it's not 150 words of direct quote, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's only a sentence or a part sentence here and there.
Okay.
But if you don't directly quote, that's also okay, because what we really want to get is your understanding of the readings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, in the rubric on the template, there's parts that are just blanked out.
Yep. Great. Awesome.
Oh, okay. So we just choose like the ones that aren't.
Yes, that's right. The parts that are blanked out means that for that, like sometimes you can't give a high distinction, credit, pass. It's just either a high distinction, a pass, or a fail. So in those cases, we've just blanked those out, which kind of benefits you in the end.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody have any questions before I continue on with the assessment? Okay, so then we get to the submission part, and hopefully, can you all see that on your screens that I've got that? Good, I'm gonna take that as a yes. So you must type your responses. So what I like to do when I'm doing Cornell, for those of you who are high school teaching, I used to use Cornell method note-taking when I was a high school teacher for my students. So I taught modern history and English, also geography and PDHP, but we won't talk about that. But in history and English, I used to use Cornell Cornell note-taking method. So for those of you who are high school teachers, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put this in your portfolio of resources that you can use on your placement then when you're teaching. So what I like to do when I'm doing Cornell, because I still use Cornell when I'm reading difficult things, is that I like to handwrite it, because handwriting helps me think. So here's a piece of paper, here's my pen, I'm reading an article on the screen, and I'm writing down things. Handwriting helps me remember. But when you submit, and it might help you remember too, but when you submit your assignment, you need to type it up. So using the template that we've provided on Blackboard under the assessments folder within assignment 1 subfolder, you need to type up your answers into it, okay? And we don't want you to change the font in the template or the size of the cell. So we've provided you the template, just type it straight in data entry, okay? And when you have finished, make sure you've deleted all of the comments from the template, and we can go through that and show you how to do that. And then you need to save the file name as how it's listed on the screen and how it's listed, and you'll find that on Blackboard after this session's finished anyway. And then you submit it through Turnitin. Okay, so what Turnitin is, it's an academic integrity originality report. So you put it in, and and submit it via Turnitin. Don't be worried when you get if you get a high percentage. It's a bit of a it can confuse students, because if 25 of you, or probably we've got 1,150 students in the course. If 500 of you have used the same reading, and that same reading was used last year and the year before and the year before and the year before, because I've done Cornell method note taking for 7 years in this course, it's going to come up as really high. People will say, oh, you're plagiarizing. That's not plagiarism. Look at your original report if you want to and go back and check, but you're going to have high checks because everyone's doing this assignment's done it for a long time. Sarah, I'll take your question and then I'll continue talking about it. So yes, Sarah, could you unmute yourself, please?
Do you have a certain percentage that we can't go over?
For Turnitin?
Yeah.
No, we don't. As I was just saying, with Turnitin, you're probably going to get a high percentage because you're all going to have the same reference just about, okay? There's only so many to choose from. So don't worry about the high percentage. Have a look at the originality report by all means. Make sure you haven't plagiarized. But if you haven't plagiarized, you've got no problems. And a lot of you will have similar comments anyway. There's only so many kind of ways to make a Cornell note taking about particular articles, so don't stress out about that. I don't look at percentage rates. Anyone that doesn't understand how Turnitin works. Any other questions, Sarah?
No.
Does that help you? No?
Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. My internet broke out, and yeah, that helped really well. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome, Sarah. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move to Harry. So, Harry, I'm going to allow you to talk. Ask away, Harry. Can you unmute yourself first, please?
Yeah, sure. I just had a question with Turnitin. Is there a certain number on the amount of submissions you're allowed, or can you submit, look at your plagiarism percentile and update
Yeah,
it?
so I just want to be really clear. Turnitin is not a plagiarism detector. Turnitin is an originality report. And so, but yes, you can submit more than once, Harry. We've set it up that way. If you have problems and you can't, just get in touch with us. But it is set up that you can submit more than once.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's all I needed. Thanks.
Thanks, Harry. And Isabella, I'm going to give you allowed to talk. And can you unmute yourself, Isabella?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Just in regards to Turnitin, I'm just looking at the Blackboard now, and I'm just wondering how we actually use Turnitin to actually like obviously turn in our assignment. Is there like a specific link that we use, or?
Yep. So it might not have been made active yet, but it should be in the Blackboard side already. If it's not, we'll make it active later. It's not due till week 4, so I don't normally like to open them too early. And you just click on the link and follow it. And it's really simple. It talks you through it. Now, if when you get to it, it's not as simple as what I think it is or what I remember it to be, I haven't done Turnitin for a while, then, ask your tutor for help, ask a peer, or go to Learning Support. There's lots of people that will help you to make sure that you can submit it through Turnitin.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Emily, I'm going to get to you. Emily, could you please unmute yourself?
Hi,
Yes.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Emily. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
That's good. I'm just wondering if you could give some examples of the contemporary issues, because I'm not really sure on that one.
Yeah, sure. Don't think too hard about this. All of this is, say you do Aboriginal education, there's an article on Aboriginal education, there's an article on assessment, then you say, well, why is this relevant to us today? Why is this relevant to schooling?
Yeah, okay.
And you should get that out of the article anyway. So you should say, well, for example, I would say, if I did one on Aboriginal education, I would say, this article on Aboriginal education is relevant to contemporary education because we have a diverse range of students in our classrooms, I want to go out and teach out Western New South Wales, and I know that in Western New South Wales there's a large Indigenous population, so I want to be the best prepared that I can be, and it's important that all students, that no student is left behind, et cetera, et cetera. So just link it into why it's important for you as a teacher to know about this stuff.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yep.
Okay. Have you finished? Any more questions, Emily?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. And we're going to get to Sarah. Can you unmute yourself, please, Sarah?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Well, I was just wanting to make sure that we're able to use like first person and stuff in answering some of these.
Yes, that's fine to use first person. I mean,
Okay.
I think you should use first person sparingly, because too much is like, I think this, I think that, I reckon. So what we want to do is express ourselves academically, but we can absolutely use first person. If you can not use first person and it still makes sense, then don't use first person. But if first person is the best, so for example, I'll just go back to Aboriginal education. I know I seem to be picking on Aboriginal education, but it's such an important topic. If you're doing Aboriginal education and you yourself identify as being an Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander, or a Maori, or a Pacific Islander, or a Sami, or a First Nations person from another country, it's really useful and relevant for you to say, in my experiences as an Aboriginal or as a Torres Strait Islander student in schools, this didn't happen for me, and I can see why it's really important. So in those cases, absolutely, it's relevant and appropriate to speak in first person.
Okay, thank you. That's all I was wondering.
Okay, no worries, Sarah. Thank you. Emily, I've got your hand up still. Did you want to allow you to talk? Did you have a question, Emily? Can you unmute yourself, please?
No,
Hi, Emily.
I didn't have a question. I must have not have lowered my hand. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think I might have forgotten to click on the disable talking thing. So I'll do
okay.
that. I'll do that now.
Thank
you. Okay. Is there any, Emily, can you also put your hand down? Thank you. Are there any other questions about this part of the assignment before we go on to the next part? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so here's some guidance for you. So you've read the brief. That's those 3 points. Select two articles, do the note taking, do 300 words of drawing them together, and self-mark. Now we're coming on to some guidance. So part 1, and I would really suggest that you take on board this guidance. Unless you're already a Cornell note-taking whiz, I would suggest that you take on this advice. So you may want to handwrite your notes as you're reading and then type them up into the template. Of course, you can type them up straight away if you like, but I like to handwrite first. How to take Cornell notes properly. So there's a video there that we've got a link for you. It's also on, there's information about on page 27 of your textbook. And there you go. So you've got then there, you've got how to take Cornell methods. It provides there's another YouTube clip that provides a brief overview of how to take them. And then they've got the 5 R's of note taking, and that's a 2-minute video on effect. It includes some tips on studying in order to remember content for tests. So of course, while there's no exam for this course, a Cornell method can be used for a lot of different reasons. So go to those Cornell note taking things, go to page 27 of your textbook, have a look about, so you're really comfortable with how to take notes. And also like what we want you to get out of this assignment is for you to think, oh, you know, actually Cornell Methods is really good. I had a student last year who was in her 4th year come back to me and say, hey, Heather, I loved that assignment in 1038. It was the best assignment because I've used Cornell note-taking method throughout my entire degree, and it's really helpful. So in fact, we want you to use Cornell method for the rest of your life, or at least for the next 3 or 4 years, okay? So part 2, support for writing a paragraph. If that brief freaked you out about writing 300 words, and I understand why it can, because I used to freak out when I was in 1st year, then go to the University of Newcastle's library guide. It shows you how to write a paragraph. It helps you out. And you can also get academic support, and they've got a phone number there and they've got an email address. So you can write to them and say, hey, I'm really struggling. Can you please help me? I really recommend everyone tries to get along to a learning support workshop or an individual consultation so that you can really just get some help. Do it now when it's a minor assignment so that when it's later, you know, when it's a major assignment, like our next assignment, you've got that bread and butter or the bricks and mortar down pat. And then part 3, all of the criteria are relative to the assignment brief. So read the criteria and then think about, have I met the criteria? I'm not sure. Maybe I could go back and do it again. Okay, so allocate yourself some marks to think about. And then if you're marking it and you think, oh, it's a pass, but I would like a bit better than a pass, well, then go back and revise it before you submit it. So that's part of the reason we get you to read the criteria and to mark yourself against it, so that then you know. I might share the criteria with you now. I'll stop sharing this screen and go onto my Blackboard site and share that screen with you. And while I'm doing that, I'll just, if my mouse will cooperate, here it is. And while I'm doing that, if there are any other questions that you want to ask, please put your hand up and we can answer them now. Just while I go to Blackboard, assessment. I should share my screen while I'm doing that. Did my screen stop sharing? Peter, has my screen?
Yeah, we can't see your screen anymore. We're just looking at you and me.
Good. Let me get onto Blackboard. Okay. Share. Okay. So, I'll take a couple of questions before I get onto the actual criteria sheet. So I'm going to take one from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello again. I was
Hi, Sarah.
just with the referencing. Do we need to reference the videos that we watch on Cornell note taking, like
No.
the ones recommended? No. Okay. Just making sure.
That's a really good question, Sarah. The only things you need to reference in this assignment are the two readings you do in part 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And you would actually never reference videos that you watch to help you do the assignment because it's expected that you would probably do that for all your assignments. So you only include the references of the actual academic resources or other resources that you use in your actual assignment. Okay, Riley, I'm going to allow you to talk. Could you please unmute yourself?
I'm asking all the questions today.
I love it, Riley, because you know what? I can tell you for sure you're asking questions that other people want to know about, okay? So
amazing.
Thank you. Please keep, and none of your questions have been dumb because, well, there's no such thing as a dumb question, but actually your questions have been good. So keep asking them, please.
Yeah. Okay. So I've heard in the last week or so, you've mentioned like a library section on Blackboard or the UON website. And I was just wondering, what is it used for and how do I find it? You were talking about a UON library guide just before, and then last week you spoke about library sources and that you can get them online.
Yep, so that's going to the library catalogue and typing into the library catalogue what you're after.
Okay. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just don't know how to find it.
When I was just talking about the library guide before in part 2, I've got a direct link to it.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
And
Thank you.
Otherwise, you can also go to the Newcastle website and just type in library and it'll come up.
Okay, thank you.
And you can also visit the library or call them as well. So the library people, the library staff are really friendly and they want to help everyone. So don't feel embarrassed or shy to go and see them and ask them direct questions.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Riley. Okay, Elizabeth, and then I'll take Chelsea. Can you put your hand down, Riley, when you're ready? Thanks. Okay, Elizabeth, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Look, I was just hoping to ask a general question about the course. With the study activities, would you recommend them to be completed before the Q&A session on a Monday or just before the tutorial stuff throughout the week?
You should definitely do them before your tutorial. If you can do them before the Q&A session, so much the better, because then you can ask questions about it. But you should do them before. You should / must do them before your tutorial.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And there we go. And I'm going to go to Chelsea. Chelsea, can you unmute yourself, please?
Can you hear me?
I can, Chelsea.
So I just have a quick question regarding when we reference and the word count, does the reference, do those words also contribute in the word count or is that separate?
Yeah, so referencing is never included in the word count when it's APA referencing.
Okay.
And that's from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, throughout your entire degree. Referencing is never included in your word count.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chelsea. Okay, so can you all see the opening? Peter, can you see the front page of the Blackboard site?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, good. So guys, I'm going to show you where to get your assessment tasks from in case you can't remember. So down here, I've got the assessment folder. I'm going to click on assessment. I might actually put on student preview. Sorry about that. So that looks like what yours looks like. There we go. So I'm going to click on assessment. You see you've got this academic integrity module, which you need to do to get your results by the end of the semester. But that was an activity for last week, so you should have all done it. APA referencing, for those of you who are like, I don't even know what APA referencing means. Click on these links. Okay, there's a link there for you.
American Psychological Association.
That's good. Yep. And so referencing is important at university to reference your ideas. If you're a history student at this university, you'll probably have to do Chicago referencing as well over when you're doing your history subjects. So it's different referencing systems. In education at this university, we use APA. And APA 7 is the latest, newest one, only came out end of last year. So it says, if you are confused, ask a librarian. Okay, people are here to help you at this university. And then information about Turnitin. So this tells you what it is. Okay. So if you need an extension for any reason, click here. Okay. And assignment 1, here we go. Let's open up this. Click. Assignment 1 instructions, click. And it gives you the instructions which I've just had on the screen that I've been talking you through. It's important that you should download these and keep them in mind. Okay. While you're doing your assignment, I'll just go back to assignment 1. As you can see, I'm clicking back. Now let's have a look at the criteria and the templates. Okay, let's have a go. So it's downloaded it. So I'll just open that up. And hopefully it comes back on. Just give me, it's thinking about it at the moment. So, my computer doesn't like Mondays, but we're getting there. While we're waiting for my computer to start liking Mondays, are there any other questions about the assignment before we continue? Ivy, I'll allow you to talk. Hi, Ivy, could you please unmute yourself?
Yep, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, cool. So it was about the APA 7 referencing. Will we be penalised if we use the Chicago? Because I know in history, they give us the option to use either or.
Do they? I didn't know that. No, you will be penalised. You must use APA.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good double check, actually. History must have changed at the University of Newcastle.
They prefer us to use the Chicago, but it's like an option.
Really?
Yeah.
They've changed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm just happy that I double checked.
Yeah, thank you for double checking.
Thank
Ivy.
you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, I'm going to go to Reese. Hi, Reese. Could you unmute yourself, please? Yes, Reese, can I help you?
With the assessment, with the signature, do we do digital signature?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Just type your name in, or having it emailed or turn it in is the same as signature. So you could even just type your name in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Or if you have a better signature, then by all means use it. But just type your name in is fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reese. Okay, Bridget, I'm going to oh no, sorry, Reese. Just there we go. Bridget, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello.
Hi, Bridget. How you going?
Hey, good, thanks. I just wanted to ask if, like, once we have decided on our issue, do we need to like state that anywhere, like what the specific issue is? Like,
no, because it doesn't need to be a specific issue, Bridget. So what you're going to do is you're going to select 2 readings from the course list, any 2, and then talk about how they relate to education and schooling and so forth now, why it's important.
Like, you're not talking about like one specific.
Not necessarily. I mean, you might. So if you do, sure, talk about that specific issue, but you don't need to.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Bridget. Reese, do you have another question? Because if you don't, could you put your hand down? Thanks. So can you see on your screen now, Peter, can you see the assignment 1 template?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to talk through this for you. Sorry. Let's have a look. So of course, your student name, your student number, how much it's worth, a length, your tutor's name, what week it's due, and that this is your own work. Then we come to the template itself, okay? So what we've got here, we've got a blank template. So you can see the other templates in those other links that we've provided. And sorry, I thought there was actually one here for you as well, but we can show you that we can show you an example in the tutorial next week, I think. I filled in one. I thought there was one here. It must have gone missing. Sorry, everybody. So here in this one, you can read it. Peter has said, your first reading summary goes on this page. So this is the first summary, so the first article. This is put the APA referencing in this top box. So you do that. So say it's, I'll just use my own example. I'll write sharp H 2021, oops, first Year Education is Awesome, published by the University of Newcastle. Okay. Newcastle, full stop, and I'll italicize that because it's APA 7. And then I've done that. So I've done my APA referencing. That's the article that I'm doing or whatever. Then I'll click on the right-hand side of my right click, and I'll go delete that comment. So I know that I've done that. I can move on. Okay. And so I'll undelete it for now, though, so I don't get confused. And so then we have a review panel. So that's where we write our notes. And if you do all the guidance stuff, we'll actually show you how to do this properly. Okay, the note taking, the instructions are going to be there. And then this is the notes panel. And this is what you think about. Think about these questions as you're doing your notes. Okay, so things like, what is the problem or issue that's being focused on? Who has it been written for? So you might say, this is written for university students or academics or teachers in the field or school principals, whatever it's written for, or maybe lots of different people. What's the main argument? So go through that kind of list as you're reading to think about. You don't have to answer each question directly. They're just things for you to think about as you're taking your notes. Your notes really should be for you to help you understand the reading. Okay? You can include some direct quotes, but try not to do too many, because what we want to know is what you have understood about the reading, not that you can directly quote verbatim what someone else has written. Okay? Then once you finish that, you can delete it. And then the summary panel. So in here, you would write a brief summary in your own words. So if I was doing a brief summary on a book I've read recently, so Looking for Alibrandi, I might write, Looking for Alibrandi was a coming-of-age novel, and I really liked how they portrayed the protagonist in the novel, or something like that. A brief summary of your own words that you understand it and how it's relevant, what's important about it, and what in a few weeks' time, if you went back and just read that summary, you would know what the book is or the article is about. Okay, Ivy, I'll take your question. Yes, Ivy, unmute yourself, please.
So it's just about when we submit the actual assignment. I'll probably submit it like a week earlier just to make sure I don't have any issues. But if I do, we can't submit it like a hard copy, can we?
No, we do not submit hard copies at the University of Newcastle.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd just double check if I had any issues with it. Okay, cool.
I mean, submitting a week early is pretty early. You don't have to submit it that early.
Yeah, I just like to, because there's so many stuff like that, so many assignments that are coming. So I thought I'd just like get it out of the way.
Ivy, that's sensible. That's actually a really smart idea. If you know you've got hundreds of assignments, 5 or 6 or 2 or 3 assignments coming up, submitting one of those assignments early is actually smart.
Yeah, I've got like an assignment timetable for the rest of the semester, so I've got it all sorted and I'm done and dusted with that. So
good. That's good. That's organised. I like that.
A bit too organised.
No, it's good to be organised because, Ivy, the thing about being organised is if something happens, if suddenly you get sick or you have a car crash or your cat runs away, then it's like, you know what, that's okay. It's not going to upset me that much because I'm so prepared. So it just means things will be moved a little bit and I can have a 1-week extension on something rather than 10 weeks because I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Good work, Ivy. You're welcome. Are there any more questions before I continue on? Okay, and then the same for the second one. This template is the same as the other one. And then this is for part 2. It says here it's a mini essay. It's not really a mini essay. I should correct that. It's just some paragraph structures, okay, that we want you to do. And that's your 300-word section. And here is where you do your referencing. So literally cut and paste those references from template 1, template 2, and put them in there, okay? There's no other referencing required. It's only those 2. Indiana, let me come to you. Yes, Indiana.
Sorry, I just walked out of the room for a second. What are we meant to put in the very left-hand side of the template?
Yeah, so I'll get a proper template back up for you. My apologies. I thought I'd included it there, but obviously I'd missed it. So the left-hand side, I'll show you what to do when I can get a proper Cornell methods up for you, okay? And I'll put that on Facebook, on Blackboard soon.
Okay, so the notes just go like in that right-hand section?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That's okay. If you have the textbook and if you've got your own copy of the textbook, there's a download Cornell method of note-taking template, which explains on page 27, which explains what on that left-hand column, but you're not really being marked for that. So that's only just for your information. And I think the left-hand column stuff is really good. So use that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Indiana. Any other questions? Nope. Okay. So let's have a look. And then you, we've done 1, we've done 2. Then you write your 300-word summary here and put in your references there. 2 references only, 1 for each reading. Okay. Then we go down to the criteria sheet. So let's jump to number 3, right down the bottom. Can you all see that? Okay. So what we're looking for is to get a high distinction for this criteria. All you need to have done is rate yourself against all of the criteria. That's really simple. That's 5 easy marks. If not everyone gets 5 marks for this, that's a shame, because there's no reason why you can't get 5 marks. What it means is you've put a highlighter. You might go there for that, there for that, here for this one. It doesn't matter. You're not getting marked on how you mark. You're just getting marked that you've actually just highlighted some sections. Okay. And so if you don't know how to highlight, I'll show you now.
Heather. Clearly, it's really important that you try and actually highlight the right ones and don't just highlight any little bit.
Yeah, that's true. So I already spoke about that earlier, about doing that, and I'll speak about it again. But I did already say, like, what you can do with the criteria and what you should do is read it and say, oh, if you think, oh, I've described them, but I could actually identify the argument within them, then you could actually say, you know what, before I submit this assignment, I'm going to go back and actually identify the main argument within each source. Okay, so that you can use this as a reflective tool to actually improve your assignment before you submit it. So I'm going to show you how to highlight in case you don't know. You click on the criteria that you think you deserve, and so I think you're all going to deserve a high distinction. So let's go to the high distinction one. Click once, click twice, and then a little thing appears and done, yellow highlight. Okay, that's how you do it. So do that again. Say it's going to be a credit for 1. Double click till it all highlights, press yellow, and then off you go. Okay. So if you then do half the criteria, if you think I'm only going to do number 1, not number 2 criteria, then you'll get a 2.5 out of 5. You get a pass. And if you haven't done any at all, which would be a huge shame because these are easy marks to get in a way, then you'll get 0. But hopefully you'll all get a 5 because there's no reason why you can't go through. Oh, I won't point to my screen. Go through all of the criteria and do that. So let's have a look. What are you being marked on in this assignment? 2 things. 1, academic understanding. Have you engaged with the literature? Do you show an understanding of it by accurately summarising it? Have you evaluated? Do you understand, you know, what's a pro and what's a con about it? And can you do a synthesis? So a synthesis is bringing it all together, making the argument. Sorry, Peter, did you have your hand up? No, Amy does. Amy Boylan. Yes, go, Amy. Oh, sorry, Amy's first.
Hi,
go.
sorry.
Hi, Amy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Amy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Amy.
Sorry. For the assignment, I'm a little bit lost with using a reading. Do we literally choose any reading, like any of them?
Yes.
Or do they have to relate to a person?
No, you can choose.
Do they have to relate to something?
You can choose any of the readings from the course readings available for this course, except for the textbook and the Brad Beer reading. Any at all.
Textbook, yeah.
Yep.
And then we just find we have to relate. Okay, yeah, okay.
Ask the question, Amy.
Right, cool. Thank you.
No, Amy, did you have a question?
No, I was just a little bit lost because I just didn't know if we had to pick any reading and then I don't know how to word it, like put our words into how that relates to education, or if we had to find a reading that could relate to it.
No, so there's only 2 readings for the total assignment, and both readings have to have a template each, and they can be about any topics within those course readings. Then the second part is the 300 words, is where you bring them together to talk about how they relate to schooling or education or so forth. Did you only just join, Amy?
Okay, cool.
Amy, did you only just join?
I tried to come onto my came onto my other laptop because I couldn't talk on my other laptop. There was no mic.
Okay, if you listen to the recording, I answered that question a little while ago as well, and that might give you some more clarity as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Yes, Peter, did you want to talk?
Yeah, 2 things. One is just to remind people we're not answering questions in the Q&A panel within the webinar. Please use Easy Retro. And the second thing is, what's our view about direct quoting within assignment 1?
Yep.
So we're getting lots of people asking about should they quote directly in the assignment.
Yep. So you should, if you are doing direct quoting, you should use it sparingly, as it says up here. You should only use it very briefly, because what we want to know is what you know about it. So it says here, you could include some but not many direct quotes here. But if you have to make sure you make it clear that they are quotes and provide the citation. So that's the page number. So you should use as few quotes as possible. In fact, even none is great, okay, because it's your summary of it. But sometimes the writer might express their view in a really good way and you want to remember it, and that's okay to directly quote. Okay, Tali, I'll take your question. If I can get my mouse to work. Yes, Tali, could you please unmute yourself? Hi, Tali, if you can unmute yourself, because we can't hear you. So Tali, I can't, oh, yep, hi Tali. So Tali, I can't hear you. Can you just make sure that everything's working on your end?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Tali. Yep, ask your question, Tali. Okay, while we're waiting for Tali, are you there?
Yeah, yep. My question was just about referencing.
Yep.
Can we use the 6th edition of the APA, or should we have
it's APA 7 now.
Okay, yep.
Thanks,
Cool.
Tali.
And so is that just like online? We can.
Yep, so I just went through that. On the assignment 1 guidance, on the assignment on Blackboard, in the assignment folder, it has a link to APA 7.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, see ya.
Bye.
Shaylee. Hi, Shaylee. Can you unmute? Yes, Shaylee.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yep.
I was just wondering about the APA referencing, because we only are using 2 texts, and when we put it up the top, what text we use, do we have to continuously reference it throughout?
No.
The readings?
No.
Right?
But if you're doing a direct quote, you put the page number in, but that's it.
Okay, so we don't have to keep referencing stuff that we've noted from that?
No.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Jay. That's a good question. We're running out of time, so I'm going to go to Elizabeth. Yes, Elizabeth.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Elizabeth.
Wonderful. Sorry. I just wanted to go off topic with the assessment just really quickly, if that's okay.
Yeah.
In terms of the mandatory checks, I'm not sure if you discussed it in the first 10 minutes of the lecture. I couldn't get onto the chat. Are we leaving that one while Sonia's down, or what are we supposed to do about that one?
So did you get my email about it late last night?
No, I didn't. I don't think I.
Okay, have a look at the email. If you didn't get it, have a look in the student emails folder on Blackboard, where I'm putting all the student emails. We're holding off on it. There's been so many problems with all these different websites that we're holding off for a couple of weeks. So long as it's done by the end of the semester, that's fine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And just to finish off before we finish in like less than a minute, make sure that you go to the first year experiences session, which is starting in a few minutes if you want to. The link is on Blackboard. It's a Zoom session so everyone can go. And the second part that we're going to be assessing you on is on academic literacy. So clarity of communication, structure of response, and APA 7 referencing. We'll talk about that again next week, though. We'll go through the criteria again next week to help you, and probably I'll try and get my models back up. I don't know what happened to them. I'm so sorry. And so we'll do that. Are there any last minute questions before we go? There is one from Paige. Peter, I noticed you've still got your hand up. So Paige, yes, can you unmute yourself, please, Paige?
Hi.
Hi, Paige.
I've just realised that I've got a context pass tomorrow, and I have no idea what that is.
A what? Sorry?
Context pass.
I don't know what that means either. Okay. Sorry.
It's a 12 to 1 hour thing. I have no idea what it is.
I don't know what that is either. I'm sorry.
That sounds like one of the past sessions, which have now been removed from the
timetable.
Did
you say pass? I thought you said context class. Sorry, I'm a little bit deaf.
So we don't have to do it?
No, pass is no longer being offered on this course at this point in time, but we might come back. Thanks, Paige.
All right, thank you.
It's all right. Okay, Zoe. Can I help you, Zoe?
Yes, I was just I'm on Blackboard now looking at the the session with Melanie.
Yep.
So is it the post, the link is on the post that says, hi all, we've made it to the end of week 1?
Yep.
That's all I need to click for the session?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zoe. Enjoy it. Melanie's great.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. We might end it there because it is 10 o'clock. If you still, yep, Zoe, we've answered you. Paige, do you have another question or can we mute you now?
You can mute me.
Thanks, Paige. Thanks for coming along, everybody. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned some stuff about the assignment. We'll talk about the assignment again next week, so bring some more questions with you. Please go off to Melanie's session if you've got a spare hour now. It's there not about the course content, just about what's happening at uni, how you can fit in, what you can do, some study skills, those kinds of things. And I'll see you all next week at 9 a.m. Goodbye.